Well, today we're doing some urban land-based fishing, and that behind me is Albert Park Lake. It's only 3 kilometres from the Melbourne CBD. It's a really underrated fishery, and I've caught some amazing fish here over the years. Golden perch, estuary perch, trout, which is stocked on every school holidays. It's a great location to highlight how good our native fishing has become around Melbourne. So we're going to be walking the backs, casting a whole heap of lures. I'm going to walk you through all the gear that you're going to need for this, and hopefully get into a few cracking fish to share with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get fishing. How's that for a backdrop? You've got the Melbourne CBD there. What an awesome sight. It's not the typical place you expect to be fishing. Don't worry, there's some good fish in here. That hit hard. Oh no, that's a golden perch. That's the prize to catch him here. Yeah. That's it. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, got one. An estuary perch. A beautiful estuary perch. Now this is one of my favourite places to come fishing in summer, when you get those warm, balmy nights, really still, and you start to see those bugs eating off the surface. And when that's happening, you pull out your surface lures and your cicadas, and you can have an absolute ball catching fish like this. So that is a really, really nice, healthy size estuary perch. Greedy little buggers, so taking a big spoon, very, very hardy fish, so there'll be no problems getting him back on his way and to fight another day. So this is one of these Shimano BT Bantam jointed minnows. It's quite a large profile size, but it won't matter. A lot of the perch in that will have a go at something significantly big. The only word of warning around here is obviously you've got lots of swans, lots of ducks. So if you're going to change your lures, any of your line clippings that you have, put them in your bag or something and then dispose of them in a rubbish bin. Don't throw them on the floor, because it's that sort of stuff that gives a bad name to fishing. And the wildlife here is pretty awesome, whether it's the bird life or the bats at night time. Do your bit, make sure we're contributing to a really good ecosystem here. Let's get that Bantam BT bait. Let's get stuck into some fish. Here's that one. Oh, I'm on. Yes. How's that? You weren't even looking. Wasn't working it. This feels decent too, boys. It might be a net job, Chris. Woo! That there is a beautiful estuary perch from Albert Park Lake. And I'll tell you what, you have a look at the water clarity in here, and obviously it's very shallow, it's very weedy, it doesn't look very good, but I'll tell you what, these fish are super duper healthy. And the thing you gotta love about EPs or bass is how aggressive they are. And that was really fascinating because I was working that lure very, very slowly, almost non-existent. I basically hadn't done a turn of the reel probably about 10-15 seconds, and then whack. And what we like to do is we want to let all these fish go because they're getting bigger and bigger. And obviously all the stocking that's been done around here, these fish in a few years' time are going to be absolutely amazing. Only 3 k's from the Melbourne CBD, and you can catch quality fish like that. So let's let him go. There you go, matey. And away he goes. Go, matey. There's an EP. Woo! Bit of drag pulling. Nice. Oh yeah, well done. On the crank. There we go. There we go, look at that. Awesome.
Nice estuary perch from Albert Park Lake. First cast. Yeah, good stuff. Let's get him back in there.
Go for it, matey. Good job.
Have to drop him.
Yep. Bang.
There he goes.
Away he goes. There you go, have a look at that. This is the way we're gonna end our night tonight. And usually sundown is usually when the fish like to come out and play around here. So now it's prime time. He's on again. Woo! All right, lure change time. Well done. Look at that, another one. So that's on the, that's just on the Savage Gear
Shallow dive.
Yeah. There you go, a little bit smaller. Look at the big bucket mouth on these things, eh? And
yeah, let's get him back.
all right, good job, mate. There he goes, good job. He's on again. Woo, micro tappy. Nice fish, matey. Yeah. No, EP, well done. Oh yeah, well done. That's a nice fish.
There we go, just on sundown. Number 3. On a micro tappy.
Albert Park. Look at that.
Park.
CBD in the background.
Beautiful night.
Let's get him back in the water, mate. Good job. Yeah, there he goes.
There he goes.
Beautiful. And now it is after dark. And unfortunately that wind has gotten up too, which has made it really awkward because we had planned today knowing it was going to be a calm, balmy evening. And usually when you've got that still water, you can see the insects falling onto it, and that's when you get a lot of that surface spoofing action. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, it wasn't predicted, but it's sitting on about 25k winds at the moment, so it's kind of ruined our plans a little bit. It's dark, that action isn't happening. We got onto a few estuary perch, which is nice. That was the aim of today, and we've done that.
With our session cut short due to unexpected winds, we decided to come back to Albert Park Lake a few days later when calmer conditions had been scheduled. This time in the morning on the Hobie Lynx kayak, which is a great way to explore Albert Park Lake in all its glory and to get stuck into a few awesome fish.
You can't even move with all the weed. Have a look at that for the way to start the day. Melbourne CBD, sunrise is coming up at Albert Park. Got some really nice conditions here. All left to do now is to get the rods out and get stuck into some awesome fishing action. Now everywhere that you fish is different, and I think there's always little unique things about every different system, and sometimes it takes a while to work that out. So we've just been on the water for a couple of minutes, and Albert Park Lake is obviously very, very shallow, and it's very, very weedy. So originally started with things like this, your standard 75mm Dollar double clutch, and what we're finding is all that's doing is just pulling weed straight away. So I've just jumped across to this now, so we're gonna rig that one up there, and the key is we're going to have to find a bib that is very, very, very shallow diving. And really all we want to do is we want to get these lures basically just to break the surface and to be having that nice wobbling action, you know, maybe a foot down, but no further than that, because all you're going to do is you're just going to get stuck in weed all day. We might find we may even have to just stop and start at certain points and just flick soft plastics or shallow divers in certain areas. But that's okay, that's fishing. It's all about working out your system, and some minor tweaks and changes can be all the difference between having some catches on your day, and that's what's important. You get out to a spot, you figure it out, make some adjustments, and hopefully we'll get stuck into a few fish. I think we're on here. This feels solid. Come on. Yes. What do we got here? Oh, this is a big EP. Oh. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's a solid EP. It's really taken a bit of time to kind of work out navigating the system because it is so shallow and it is so weedy, and a lot of the mid divers and shallow divers that we thought would have a lot of success with, as soon as you troll with them for literally 20 seconds, they're just absolutely full of weed. So we've gone to the shallowest of shallowest divers, you know, ones that barely break the surface, and we're now starting to have some real success. And there you go, there is another beautiful estuary perch. So very similar size, a lot of these ones. So obviously they were stocked in here a few years ago, and we're starting to get stuck into them now. So a lot of fun catching these fish. They hit really, really hard. Look at those beautiful shiny silver and chrome colors. Hey, what a magnificent fish. So that was taken on the Estuary crystal minnow. Hit it really hard. I thought for a second there we had a trout on, but there you go, another EP. Let's get it back in the water. There we go, there is another beautiful EP. So just make sure you support their belly. Let's get this guy back in the water. I'm sure he's going to be keen to go. See you, matey. Off we go. Yeah, this is one of the Estuary crystal minnows that I've had for years and years and years. You can see, look at the bib on that. So very, very shallow diving. And again, hopefully that's going to prevent us from just getting stuck into weeds. There we go, we've got something. What do we got? We've got another, oh, nice estuary perch. Here we go. So that hit hard. Aussie. Nice EP. Oh, he's not really hooked up well. That's a good size one, actually. That's a beautiful one. All right, real ripper, there you go. So that is a beautiful estuary perch. And as we said when we got here, it's a very diverse system here. We've got lots of different fish species, estuary perch, you've got yellow belly, obviously got some really awesome trout that have been stocked over years. You've got lots of big dirty carp, and also there's some myths that you've got some redfin and also some cod in here, but I've never caught any. But there you go, that is a beautiful EP. The old bucket mouth, very aggressive fish, these ones. So that just hit a diver jointed minnow on the troll, and we're going to get him on his way. Beautiful. Nice little estuary perch. Awesome, mate. There's no shortage of them in here. And awesome. Away he goes. Oh, little trout. There we go. There we go. Look at that. So we've got a little stocky rainbow trout. We're after something a bit bigger than that. Let's bring him up anyway. Whew. There you go. Beautiful little rainbow trout. So that's obviously a stocky from the school holiday program. So that's obviously a much, much smaller trout there. And that was just taken on one of those little diver jointed minnows. Such a beautiful fish. And obviously we're going to let this one go, and hopefully he'll grow back into be one of those big ones there. Oh, he's keen to go. And away he swims away. Look at that. What a beautiful fish. Now you have to be very careful handling these fish. They've got some very, very sharp gill rakers there, and also some of their spikes there. So you got to be really careful in handling. Best way to do it, support their belly, put your thumb in their mouth. That's the best way to go. We're going to get this hardy fish on his way nice and quickly. There we go. Away he goes. Awesome. There we go. All right. There you go, just put on a Hurricane Twitch 50. First cast, just working it. And bang, a beautiful little estuary perch. So there's no shortage of these guys in here. They've been heavily stocked over the years. And what's great is there are some bigger models in here. And for years to come, with all the stocking that's been done, in the evenings, it's great catching these guys because there's going to be some pretty sizable ones in a few years' time. But anyway, we'll get him back on his way. So 3, 2, off he goes.
Well, what a fun episode that was, fishing and exploring Albert Park Lake, land-based fishing and kayak fishing, this very underrated metro system that brings you back time and time again. We managed to catch plenty of estuary perch on a variety of lures, and we also got stuck into a few yellow belly and trout. I hope that you enjoyed the show, and I look forward to seeing you in next week's episode.